The Oscar race for Best Picture and Best Actor just got a lot more interesting with the addition of American Fiction. I got to see this film a few weeks early before its release, and I have a lot of thoughts about this movie that I really enjoyed. American Fiction follows this writer played by Jeffrey Wright. This character is somebody who is a black man in America. He is a college professor, he is an author, and essentially he keeps being told that the books that he's writing are not good enough because they're not speaking on the black experience. His critique is then, I am a black man writing a book, thus it is a black book. So what American Fiction is, it's this satirical look into American culture, specifically in the way media and literary novels depict black voices and black people in their writing. This film was one that I had heard a lot about going into this surprise screening. I got to see it at the Regal Mystery Movie. We didn't know what movie it was. I actually thought it was going to be Anyone But You. So this was kind of a big surprise for me after hearing so much of it being the film that won TIFF, the Audience Award. And I have a few big thoughts on this movie. The biggest is Jeffrey Wright is sensational in this movie. Jeffrey Wright is one of our best actors, and I think he just can play in any role. You know, this year he starred in Asteroid City with Wes Anderson, which showed a very comedic but different side. That one is all about the eccentricities and like the manner and physique of a performance. This is in American Fiction, I should say. American Fiction is a performance centered around Jeffrey Wright and his wry humor and his sensibilities, his ability to be just an emotionally impactful actor. He has his brother in this movie, I should say, is Sterling K. Brown. Sterling K. Brown is one of our finest actors. I've never seen Sterling K. Brown give a particularly bad performance. In American Fiction, he's quite good. Sterling K. Brown's character is the perfect counterpart to Jeffrey Wright's character, where Jeffrey Wright feels so stern and so lost. Sterling K. Brown seems so assured in himself, so comfortable in who he is and how he became that person. Thus, the two brothers' relationship is perfectly juxtaposed in this movie that follows both Jeffrey Wright's character as the author and then him going through his personal life, how interlinked they are, how confused they are, and how Jeffrey Wright is kind of just questioning everything about his family and who he is as a person and as a voice, and what that means to be a voice within the black community. This film works because the satire is sharp. The director of this movie, whose name I'm looking up right now, it is Cord Jefferson. Cord Jefferson has worked as a writer for such TV shows as The Good Place, as Watchmen. He was an editor for Succession, I believe. I think he was a script consultant for Succession specifically. And I'm trying to think of the other show. Oh, he did work on Master of None, which was Aziz Ansari's show. This guy just has an ability to, one, those shows have really strong emotional cores in them. They're thematically resonant to the current culture and times that we exist. Like, this film feels very much of 2023. It is just all of these ideas coming together to make a film that is really special. And the thing that Cord Jefferson does so well in all of those shows is you see it in all of the shows that I just mentioned. They have a sharp humor to them. And this film is sharply funny. There are a lot of great laugh lines throughout. There's one specific scene with Jeffrey Wright's character where he's on the phone with a publisher. That is one of the funniest scenes you'll see in a movie this year. American Fiction reminded me a lot of a 2018 film, Sorry to Bother You, directed by Boots Riley. I believe both of their comedic sensibilities are very funny. I believe the social satire comes across really well, and it's social satire with a meaning behind it. And what American Fiction does so well is it's commentating on all those experiences. It is a film all about that, and it's also its own thing. It marches at its own pace. The third act of this movie, kind of like Sorry to Bother You, takes a really big swing. I know some people didn't think it paid off. I actually found it to be quite wonderful. I think the third act of this movie really comes together in a really special way, and thus I can really recommend American Fiction. I think this is a really good time. I think this is a super funny movie. I think this is a super pressing movie, and I'm just really curious to see how it is going to be reacted in the next few months. I've already heard some criticisms of this movie, American Fiction, being a movie that feels 10 years too late. And how I saw this and how I interpreted that is a lot of the same ideas that were being talked about 10 years ago are the same ideas that were being talked 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, etc., etc. These are conversations that still need to happen because we're not getting any meaningful conclusion to them. And all we are doing is further stripping Black people in representation within media. And that's what I think this film is best trying to point out. And I think it is a success when it does so. American Fiction is a movie that I quite enjoyed. I would really recommend it to everybody. I believe this Jeffrey Wright performance will get nominated. I believe this is a shoo-in for Cord Jefferson for Best Adapted Screenplay. I had a great time with American Fiction. I saw this in a college town, and I will say the energy and reception that I heard from the movie post from people walking out of the theater was uncomfortability, especially in the first 5 minutes. Like, this film very much puts a certain liberalistic idea of young college students and pokes fun at them in a, I think, respectful but also indicting way. And you could see the audience not necessarily fully respond to that. I enjoyed American Fiction. There's some really great performances, some great writing throughout. It has some tonal unevenness throughout. There's a little bit too much of it falls into melodramatic at moments, especially with the family relationship, but it doesn't strip my enjoyment that I had for this movie. American Fiction is a good movie. You should check it out. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe for my reviews for more. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and bye-bye.